Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Building a SaaS, where we sit down for a half an hour each day and build a software as a service together. So the SaaS application that we are creating is called Fancy Bar, and it is a service where somebody can come to and enter in their website, and then we'll show them what some of the bar kind of like notifications or CTAs look like that they can add to their website. They can then add a JavaScript embed, and then it will show that Fancy Bar on their website. So we are building this software as a service with a tool called Wave. You can check it out if you go to devdojo.com/wave. It is a software as a service starter kit with subscriptions, invoices, user profiles, announcements, and so many other features out of the box. So this is a free open source tool. You can feel free to use it to build your software as a service. So let's get into it. So where we left off last time was somebody can come to the website and they can enter in their website and click on give it a try. They'll then get a screenshot of their website here, and they can click up here to see what some of these bars look like. So what I was saying was that I wanted the funnel to function the exact same way as if somebody were to log into the website and click on create bar. So I want them both to be very similar. This way somebody can kind of go through the funnel, and then they can also go into the product and create another bar. So let me go ahead and log in real quick. So I'm going to sign in with the admin user. And then if we were to go over here to the left, we click on bars and we can click on create a new bar. So this currently is not doing anything right now, but what I want it to do is I want it to pop up and then ask the user for their website domain, and then they click on create, and then it takes them to that exact same page. So you can see that the sequence is going to be the exact same if they are not logged in or if they are logged in. I think that'll be like a really good user experience. So let's go ahead and add that pop-up for someone to click on create new bar. So what I do like is I really like the pop-up in Laravel Jetstream. So if you haven't seen Jetstream yet, it is also another kind of like software as a service starter kit. I believe this is jetstream.laravel.com. Yeah, so Jetstream is pretty cool too. So I'm unbiased, I did build Wave, but you can feel free to come here and check this out as well. It is essentially, it gives you authentication. It doesn't have billing. You would actually have to purchase, I believe it's called, was it Spark from Laravel, and then you can have billing integration built in. But this is an open source tool, and I think we're going to use a few of the components that they have available in this tool. So we're going to check out the GitHub, and then we are going to go to their resources, views, and components. And I think they have a modal down here, yeah. So here's this modal that we can basically copy this component and then reuse it. And it's pretty cool. I'm going to show you how we can use this. So I'm going to copy all this code. And then we'll go into our project. We'll go into resources, views, and I'm just going to call this new folder, and we'll call this components. And then I think this is just called modal.blade.php. Okay, so let me go ahead and put that in there. And then to use this, I think what we can actually do is just test this out in any of our views. So let's go into our views, themes. This is inside of the, what is that, the tall stack theme. And we will go to, is that layouts and app. And I'm just gonna go ahead and print something out and make sure we're hitting this view. So let's go back here, reload, yep, okay. So this is the view that we are currently hitting. So what I should be able to do is, I should be able to enter an x-modal, and this is actually going to call the modal component. So if you're not familiar with Laravel Blade views, that's essentially what we just created right here. So anything inside of your resources, views, components folder is called a Laravel Blade view. So it's essentially, you put an X before it and then dash, and then it's the name of the file. So in this case, it is modal.blade.php. So we need to figure out how to trigger this. Let me go to the Jetstream documentation, and I'm not sure if this is mentioned anywhere. Let's look for modal. Yeah, I may actually have to dig into the code to figure out how we get this to fire. Let me see. So we go into the modal. So we have x-data entangle attributes wire model defer. Okay, so I think we actually need to have a wire model. Yeah, let's go ahead and go to our, see, we have Livewire bar create. So this is the create view that we're at. So how about I bring that modal over here. And I'm going to bring that, we'll just say, to the top of the file. And actually this is not going to be the file that we're looking for. So we have Livewire bar create. Yeah, I don't think this is actually the one that we're looking for. So tall stack, see bars. So we have all those. Let's go ahead and just print something out and we'll see if we're hitting this file, but I don't think we are. Yeah, this is the actual /create view. So this should be dashboard/bars. So let's go to dashboard bars, and that's where we're at right there. Okay. So you know what? I may actually want to just create a Livewire view for the dashboard bar, because then we can leverage the power of this modal by saying like wire model equals, and then we just have a variable called show modal, and then that will pop up. So let's go ahead and do that now. Let's just change this default view into a Livewire view, to a Livewire view, controller view, one of those two. Okay, PHP artisan make Livewire, and we'll call this dashboard dot bars. Okay, so now we have the view. Let's go ahead and just copy this. And we're going to put this inside of the Livewire dashboard bars file, and we'll put that right here. And we just need one div, which is the wrapper. So let's see. Yeah, I should be able to remove those opening and closing divs right there. And now here we can say Livewire, and that would be dashboard dot bars. Okay, so let's go back here, reload, and make sure that we're getting the same thing. Okay, indeed we are. So now let's go into our app. I think that's HTTP Livewire dashboard bars. And let's just make sure that we're hitting this method. So I'm going to go ahead and say public function mount, and mount is the function that gets called anytime you render a Livewire component. So let's go ahead and do a good old DD there and say hello. Let's go back to our view, reload, and sure enough, we get that output. Okay, so we know that we're hitting this specific component. So I'm going to create a variable and just call this, I don't know, create modal, which is set to false by default. Okay, so now we need to go back into our Livewire dashboard bars, and this is where I need to add, we'll say x-modal wire model equals, and this is going to be the name of that variable that we just created. So right now it is set to false. And let's say once we click on this button, we're going to say wire : click equals, and I'm trying to think of the magic method. I think it's $, is it set? Is it dot set? No, I think it's set. So we'll set create modal to true. I think this might work. Let's give it a try. Okay, so let's reload, and I think that actually was showing by default, so that shouldn't have been showing. Wire model create modal. So let's take a look at our modal view. We have this wire model dot defer. So the ID. Okay, so we have this focus, return query. yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at the Jetstream files and let's see where they essentially boot up a modal. So what I'm going to do so that way I can search the code base is I could either download this, or there is this cool tool. It's called, what is that called? I think it's called GitHub 1S. So I can put 1S right there. And then it actually boots up this repo inside of like this virtualized VS Code. So I should be able to say find in folder. And in this folder, I want to find x-modal. And not found. Why is that? That's weird. Okay, resources, components. And yeah, we have the modal there. Let me just do a search for, we'll just say modal. And that's going to give me a bunch. Oh, okay. Jet dialog modal. Maybe they renamed. Okay. :show equals. You know what? Let's go ahead and try this. Let's go here. Is there a show method right here? Okay. It takes that in. So we will say, let's just try :show and then say equals true. Let's go back here, reload. So we get that pop-up on there. Let's add something inside of here. We'll say, heyo. Reload that and we get the modal right there. So maybe this show, I'm wondering actually if we could pass the create modal. I mean, I guess I could always say if create modal. No. Instead, I think what I'm going to do is maybe I can make this whole thing a Alpine component. So we'll say xdata equals, we'll say create modal, and we'll say false. So then we're actually going to pass create modal to this show. And right here, we'll say @click equals create modal equals true. Okay, so let's check this out. Let's reload that and we get create modal assumed create modal. Okay, undefined constant. Let's see where that is at. Okay, so that is where this is at. If we were to do show. Okay, so this is not working out like I had planned. I think it had been a while ago that I used this modal component. And you know what? Let me check out. There's another tool called the Blade UI Kit. Let me check this out. You know what? I'm not even going to use another component. I guess what I'm going to do is probably just create my own modal. You know, that probably works out best anyways. So let me go back to the drawing board. I am just going to create my own modal, and it's not even going to be inside of a Blade view component. So let me see where we're at on time. Yeah, so we just wasted a good amount of time, but you know, sometimes that happens. Okay, so let's say div class, I'm going to say x-show equals create modal. So this should only show whenever create modal is equal to true. So let's set this class to fixed. We'll say inset of 0. We want W screen and H screen. And we're also going to add an attribute to this called xcloak. And this just means that before Alpine is actually loaded, this div is not going to render on the screen. So we won't get any kind of flicker. So inside of this, we want to have a class equals, we'll say absolute, and this is going to be our dark gray background. So we'll say BG gray of 900. We'll give it an opacity of 50. This is going to be inset 0, W full, and H dash full. Okay, and then we're also going to make this full screen, or this modal container. We're going to make this flex with item center and justify center. So we want the modal to be centered. And this is going to be the modal right here. So we'll give it a class of background white, and let's say padding of 10. Hey yo. Okay. Sorry that I wasted a little bit of time back there, but sometimes that's just the way it goes. And usually whenever you're building out some of your stuff, the best way is just to, like if you're building some kind of like view, is just to do it on your own. If you go down a route of trying to use someone else's and you try and figure out how to use it. And I know I only spent about like maybe 5-10 minutes on that, but sometimes it's just easier just to create your own. So we'll go ahead and message that out right there. Let's take a look, reload, click on create new bar. And sure enough, that gets visible, but we see that our modal is actually behind the backdrop. So we need to set this to relative. Okay, so inside of here, I want to have an H2 class of font bold text. We'll say 2XL. And we're going to basically ask the user, what is the website that you want to add the bar to? So we'll say website URL. And then in a paragraph, we'll say, what is the website URL you are going to add this bar to? That's really bad grammar. What is the website URL you're going to add this bar to? Yeah, that's pretty bad. Enter the website URL for this bar. And then we could also have something that says like, this can be changed later. So if they want to, design it for one website and then they're like, what, actually I want to use it on a different website. Maybe we could even duplicate a bar, and then we could also change the URL that they want to apply that bar to. So let's do that. Let's also add an input, and we'll give this a input type equals text, and we'll say name equals website, and let's give it some classes. And you know what? I think I'm going to find the classes. Actually, do I have some classes for... I think I already have some classes set up. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Okay, and then whenever you click on the background, we also want that to be removed. So we'll say @click equals create modal equals false. Okay. Looking pretty good. So let's take a look at our website. Let's go to sign in, and we already have these styles for our input. Yeah, so that's just form input w-full. So I can go ahead and duplicate that. It looks like I do have a div wrapping that. So let's go ahead and wrap this with a div. Class equals, put that in there, boom, boom, boom. Okay, and then we have the class right here. Let's pop that in there. And one thing that I've been meaning to update, so I still have the wave logo down here in the footer instead of our fancy bar logo. So let's go ahead and update that while we're here. Okay, so where is that? Okay, so I should just be able to copy this and then open up our footer. That's inside of the tall stack. Where are we at? Layouts. Is that inside of app? Or does app have a footer partial? Let's see. Where are we? Livewire scripts, announcements. Where is that footer? Partials.toast. Yeah, I guess the footer is just right there. Okay, I guess that makes it easy. Menu button. Actually, is that start of new template? Oh, no. I'm looking in the wrong place. Layouts. Okay, so we have app. Main, I think was it. Yeah, so in main, we have partials toast, Partials footer. There we go. And where are we at? Yeah, partials, footer. There we go. Okay, so let's find this logo right there. Yeah, I think we just swap this out, paste that in there. Boom, boom, boom. Let's format this kind of nicely. Beautify selection, HTML. Looking good. Span. Okay, let's see what this looks like. Let's reload. Yeah, okay, now our footer looks good as well. And let's go ahead and log in. And let's see what this modal looks like. Okay, so we'll go back to our bars and we'll say create new bar, and then we enter in the website URL here. So once we enter in this website URL, it should then take us to the same place that I was saying before, which would just take us to the create. So you know what, I could actually make this form just go to the same place that the home page form goes to. So if I look at, was that home.blade? I said enter in your domain. So I think I could technically, yeah, just use this same form. So we have that button type submit. Yeah, how about I just copy this whole thing? And let's move that into our modal. And where's that at? That's inside of our Livewire dashboard. Okay. I mean, if I wanted to, I could add the whole form there, but I don't think I want to have that huge form that's on the home page be in that same modal. So let's just copy this form, method equals get. And I wonder if I should be able to pop this into a new window. Maybe we'll just keep that in the same one. Okay, so we'll add this, then need to add the submit button, close that form, and end the form right there. Alrighty, let's see what this looks like now. Reload, create new bar. That looks kind of ugly. We can fix that though. So let's say disneyplus.com and click on enter. Let's see, browser URL must be of type string null given. Oh, okay. We had the name website when this actually should have been name URL. So let's go back to the dashboard, back to our bars section, create new bar, disneyplus.com. Boom, it takes us to the same place. And that was actually where we had that string that we output. Let's remove that real quick. Let's see where that create was. Yeah. Okay. So now let's go back and let's make this look a little bit better. So under dashboard bars, we click on create new bar, website URL, enter the website URL for this bar. This can be changed later, and then give it a try. So give it a try. We're actually going to say, we could just say submit, I guess. Let's go back to the form, see how we're doing on time. Yeah, I think after we finish this, then we'll be done with the video. I know I wasted a little bit of time when I was trying to add that modal. And you know what, in maybe a future video, we'll create our own reusable modal. I know there were, I think, a few people in the Laravel community who've shown how you can create these reusable modals, and it's pretty cool. So maybe we'll do our own. So let's say for this class, maybe I want this to be flex. Class equals flex. Both those are W full. I can make this W-3/4 and W/1/4. And let's make this button say submit. Okay, so we come back here, reload, and that made them both width of a half. So we had flex, W-3/4. Okay, because that was W-auto. Not cool. Not cool, Mr. Flex Man. So we had width of 3/4, H-full. You know, let's just keep it flex column. And we'll say justify -end. This should be W full. And you know what? I don't even think I need a div around that button. Okay, let's reload this, create new bar. And let me open this up and see why our submit button isn't going to the right. So instead of justify end, maybe that's items end. Yep, there we go. Okay, and then the width, set the to width of auto. Make sure there is no like LGW. Yeah, there is W64. Set that to auto. And items end. And then we maybe want a, say, MY of 2. Okay, I think that looks good enough for now. We probably want to round the corners of our modal as well, just to keep it consistent. So BG white rounded -LG. Okay, click on create new bar, boom. And what we can do is enter in our website. And then since we're already logged in, this page is going to let us customize it, and then we can click on save, and then it's going to let us embed it on the website. So I think we're going to end there. We basically just created a create bar section that's going to function similarly to the way it does if you were to go to the home page and enter your URL in right here. And like I was saying, whenever we have somebody who's not signed in and they go through the website, we're basically just going to store it into HTML5 storage. This way, on the last step, we say, hey, want to embed this on your website? Go ahead and click here to sign up. They then go to sign up, and then we store that information that we stored in HTML5 storage into the database for that user. And then if they want to create another bar for a different website, it's going to be the exact same way that they created it even before they had an account. So I think that's really good. It's kind of a way to show a user how to create something even without having an account. And then once they have an account, creating it is going to function the exact same way. And I think that's it for this video. Sorry again about the first, I think 10 minutes. We were kind of just playing around with some Jetstream stuff, but Jetstream is pretty cool as well. So if you have some time, make sure to check it out. It is another kind of authentication and application scaffolding tool built by the Laravel team themselves. But that's it for now. Thanks for hanging out with me as we sit down together and just kind of hack on a software as a service together. I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you in a future video.